This place has been in my family for generations, and I do foresee it continuing to stay that way, and that is definitely the hope and dream of growing up here and moving back and raising our family in this way of life. My great-grandparents settled here in 1907, 1908 and lived here their entire lives. My grandparents lived here, and my parents have lived here their entire life. These old boxcars were what was available long ago to use as outbuildings and storage sheds. These are the boys' 4-H lambs. The 4-H fair is always a highlight of the summer, and they're getting ready for fair next week. I think giving back to the community is just as vitally important as it is in giving back and leaving a legacy for your children. Your children may or may not have the desire to come back to the community, but the only opportunity and desire that will be developed within them is if the community has something for them to come back. And giving back is the way we're going to ensure that into the future and ensure that the community thrives for them down the road.
According to a study done by the Montana Community Foundation, over the next 10 years, we anticipate a transfer of wealth in Montana of over $30 billion. If we could capture 5% of that $30 billion, that's $600 million that would be set aside for charities and communities in the state of Montana, providing over $30 million per year to benefit those charities and communities.
I grew up in a family where giving was an absolutely critical and integral part of our family, from my grandfather to my father, and so I'm trying to instill that same sense of giving and the importance of contributing back to making strong communities to my children.
Well, for an old social worker, there's a lot of satisfaction in giving, because social workers are really interested in people and helping them have a better life. And this is certainly a very good way to reach people that you couldn't reach your own self, but the organization can reach out to them.
The thing that gives people confidence that their contributions are helping are the types of grants that we give. We give grants for kids, we give grants for a pool, we give grants for senior citizens, we give grants for all sorts of things, and they see it all the time, and they know their money is going that way.
Many people have assets other than cash, stocks, and bonds that they want to give. We can easily help them to give those assets, including real estate, including jewelry, so that they can optimize their tax advantages and maximize their gift to their favorite charity or cause.
I grew up in Townsend. My father was a banker, my grandfather was a banker, and I wanted to return to the small town where I grew up. I thought it was nice to be a big fish in a small pond and to be able to help the community that meant so much to me. This is Townsend. The town is over 100 years old. It's a bedroom community for Helena and Bozeman, but it's also the county seat of Broadwater County. This is the State Bank of Townsend, founded in 1899. It's 114 years old, founded by my grandfather. We're at it's called the Flynn Bible Camp. It's celebrating its 60th anniversary this year. It started when a few men would come up here, grab a little something to drink, have a steak dinner, maybe play some cards. And over the years, it's evolved into kind of a community-wide thing. The proceeds of this camp go to providing 2 scholarships for our local high school. The Broadwater Community Foundation supports many projects in Townsend. We do things like park improvements. We've helped develop historic churches, but one of the major ones was to improve the entryway into Townsend, and it was quite a large project, and we were able to give money. So we cover all areas in the community And sometimes in a small community, $300 or $400 is very important.
Community foundations are just such a great thing to have in a community. They're a way for people to give back and a source of funding for future projects, which is really essential to a vital community.
Most of us have fond memories of growing up in our hometowns, and when we reach a point in life where we can give back a little bit, the Community Foundation's a perfect place to give back a little bit to the community that helped nurture you and can make your community be for your family what it was for you.
I saw a community foundation as a way that you could give back to a community. You know, we like to live in a place, so we want it to be a better place to be, whether it's your city or your state, and helping nonprofits to build permanent endowments for future security seemed a very good way to help the place we were living.
This is Montanans taking care of Montanans forever. There is no government involvement. People giving back, treating our community as our child, making sure that the next generation has what the previous generation liked about our place.
Giving back to the community in which we grew up in is extremely important. We've had the opportunity to grow and thrive and come back to a place we're very fortunate. And those opportunities are only going to be made possible by having supporters within the community that give back and enhance the programs, continue programs for young people so that the towns and communities are a place that they want to come back to.
It's so important to keep our money in Montana. People were sending money all over the country, and while that was good, it didn't really come back to benefit Montana. So by having our own local Montana Community Foundation, the money is usually invested in Montana by Montanans, and people now have a place to give rather than go outside the state.
Our communities are who we are. Anything that we can do to keep wealth in the state of Montana is good for all of us. Montana's community foundations are the easiest and most effective way for us to make sure that your money goes where you want it to go.
I think the Montana Community Foundation really has a special role in Montana to create that culture of philanthropy across generations, not only from the past, but working well into the future to make Montana a great place to live.
We've had the opportunity to support our local food bank and provide funding back to them, and they serve such an area and population of need, down to the daycares and the youth centers, as well as our Special K Ranch and the programs that they provide there. It's been really fun to see the widespread impact that we've been able to have within the community.
Consider giving back to your community. Think what your community did for you. Give a little back. It'll pay off big time going down the road.
There's so few resources in Montana that building these little pots of money that give back, that's what we need to make a vital Montana.
Money that's in the Broadwater Community Foundation or any foundation stays there permanently, and they live off of the endowment. So it really helps to have that source of fund. Hello. Let's start over.